Beloved, there comes a moment in life when we realize that not all love is love, not all kindness is kindness, and not all people who claim to care for us truly do. There are those who thrive on our willingness to bend, to give, to make ourselves small so they can feel big. And when we finally gather the strength to say no more, something shifts. It is in this moment when we build a wall where there was once an open door that a narcissist feels the ground beneath them start to shake. Because boundaries don't just protect us, they expose them. A narcissist world revolves around control. Control of perception, control of emotions, control of relationships. But control needs access, and access requires a lack of boundaries. When we are constantly available to fix, to explain, to defend, or to absorb their blame, we feed the illusion that they hold the power. The moment we set a firm boundary, when we say, I will not explain myself, I will not justify my feelings, I will not allow you to speak to me this way, the illusion begins to crumble. The narcissist isn't just losing access to us. They're losing control over the story they've been telling themselves about who they are. You see, for a narcissist, boundaries aren't just frustrating, they are threatening. Boundaries send a message that their manipulation is no longer effective, that their words no longer dictate our reality. And this is where their true colors show. At first, they might laugh it off, belittling our boundaries as if they are childish or unnecessary. Oh, you're being dramatic. You always take things the wrong way. I was just joking. But make no mistake, this reaction isn't about humor. It's about testing our resolve. If they can get us to question ourselves, to loosen our grip on that boundary, they can regain control. When their dismissiveness doesn't work, they escalate. Maybe they shift into guilt, reminding us of all they've done for us, of how we're ungrateful or selfish for standing our ground. Maybe they try to make us feel like we're the problem. They rewrite history, twist words, pull at our deepest insecurities. And for a moment, we might waver. We might ask ourselves, am I overreacting? Am I being too harsh? But beloved, hear me when I say, a healthy person does not punish you for protecting your peace. A healthy person does not fear your boundaries, they respect them. If guilt doesn't work, anger is next. Because when a narcissist realizes they are losing control, they panic. Their charm gives way to cruelty. Their sweet words turn to accusations. Their calm demeanor shatters into rage. You think you're better than me? You've changed. No one else would put up with you. They may lash out, hoping that fear will make us retreat. And in the past, maybe it did. Maybe we silenced ourselves to keep the peace. But when we stand firm, when we let their anger pass through us like wind through trees, something remarkable happens. They begin to see that we are no longer afraid. And this is when the tables turn. A narcissist without control is like a performer without an audience. They don't know what to do when their script no longer works. Some will double down, exhausting every tactic they can think of to pull us back into their orbit. Others will retreat, seeking someone else who will give them the validation we have taken away. Either way, their reaction is not about us, it's about them. Because at the core of narcissism is an unbearable truth. Without someone to manipulate, they are left alone with themselves. And that is a reality they cannot face. Beloved, let me tell you this. Your boundaries are not just a rejection of their control. They are an affirmation of your worth. They are proof that you are no longer willing to live in a space where you must shrink to be loved, where you must be silent to be accepted. They are a declaration that you are worthy of relationships built on respect, trust, and mutual care. And yes, setting boundaries might mean losing people who cannot handle them, but those people were never truly with you. They were only with what they could take from you. So stand firm. Let your boundaries be your guardrails, not just against narcissists, but against anyone who would make you believe that your worth is something they get to define. The moment you enforce them, you step into a power that no one can take away from you. You step into a freedom where love is not a transaction, where respect is not conditional, and where your peace is no longer negotiable. That, my beloved, is where your true strength begins. Beloved, there is a moment in every battle where the tides turn, a moment where the one who once held the upper hand suddenly feels their grip slipping. In the dance between a narcissist and their target, that moment comes not with a grand confrontation, not with shouting or accusations, but with something far more powerful: engagement. When a narcissist realizes that their words no longer wound you, that their manipulation no longer bends you, that their control no longer defines you, the shift in power is undeniable. And for them, it is terrifying. A narcissist's entire existence is built on control, controlling the narrative, controlling the emotions of those around them, controlling how they are perceived. But all of that relies on one crucial thing: your participation. They need you to react. They need you to explain yourself, to defend, to beg, to cry, to question whether you are the problem. The moment you stop playing, the moment you step back and say, I will not engage in this anymore, the foundation of their power crumbles beneath them. At first, they won't believe it. They'll test you. Maybe they'll say something cruel, something designed to get a rise out of you. Maybe they'll try to bait you into defending yourself, arguing, justifying. And when you don't, when you simply look at them with calm detachment, they will feel something they are not used to feeling: panic. Because in their mind, if they are not controlling your emotions, if they are not the center of your thoughts, then who are they? Without your reactions, without your energy feeding them, they are forced to face a truth they have spent a lifetime avoiding: that their power was never real. It was borrowed from you. And so they escalate. Maybe they try to love bomb you, suddenly offering kindness and affection they withheld before. Maybe they start promising to change, to be different this time. I see it now, they'll say. I'll do better. But beloved, hear me. It is not you they want back. It is their control over you. Because change does not come in words, it comes in actions. And if you look closely, you'll see that nothing has truly changed except their desperation to regain the upper hand. If you look closely, you'll see that nothing has truly changed except their desperation to regain the upper hand. When charm doesn't work, they move to fear. The insults become sharper, the accusations more vicious. You'll never find someone like me. No one else will put up with you. You're making the biggest mistake of your life. They will try to break you down, to shake your confidence, to make you believe that life without them is a life of regret. But here's the truth, beloved. The only thing you are losing is the weight of their control. The only thing you are leaving behind is a cycle that was never meant to serve you. And when nothing works, when you remain unmoved, when you continue living, breathing, thriving without them, they reach the final stage: victimhood. They rewrite the story, painting themselves as the one who was wronged. Suddenly, they are the one who was abandoned, the one who gave so much and received nothing in return. And if they can't make you believe it, they will try to make others believe it. They will spread lies, twist facts, cast themselves as the misunderstood soul who was only trying to love you. But you will know the truth, and the truth, beloved, will set you free. The shift in power is not about winning or losing. It is about reclaiming yourself. It is about realizing that you were never weak. You were only conditioned to believe you were. That your love was never the problem. It was simply given to someone who did not know how to receive it. When you stop playing their game, you step into a strength you may not have even known was within you. And though they will fight to pull you back, to make you doubt, to make you feel small again, you will stand tall. Because once you have tasted freedom, once you have felt the weight of their manipulation lift from your shoulders, there is no going back. So, beloved, let them realize it. Let them see that the strings they once pulled are no longer attached to you. Let them feel the emptiness that comes when their power vanishes. And while they scramble to regain control, you will walk forward, not in anger, not in fear, but in peace, because you are no longer playing their game. You have risen above it. And in that, you have already won. Beloved, there comes a time in every battle when the one who once held control senses that the tides are turning. They feel their grip loosening, their influence fading, and their power slipping through their fingers like sand. And in that moment, when a narcissist realizes they no longer have control over you, they do not surrender gracefully. No, they fight harder, more viciously, with every manipulative tactic they can summon. Because a narcissist without control is a person without direction, and their desperation will drive them to extreme lengths to regain what they believe they have lost. At first, they try to reel you back in with sweetness. They become the person you first fell for, the friend who once seemed so kind, the family member who once made you feel special. They flood you with compliments, promises, and grand gestures. I've changed, they say. I see where I went wrong. They recall the things you always wished they would say, as if they finally had a revelation. And for a moment, it might be tempting to believe them. After all, isn't this what you've wanted all along? But beloved, this is not love. It is a tactic. Because if they truly valued you, they would not wait until they were losing you to treat you with kindness. When charm fails, guilt takes its place. They remind you of the history you share, the moments of joy, the times they were there for you. They rewrite the story, making themselves the selfless giver, the one who sacrificed so much for you. After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me? You're really going to throw away all we've built? They want you to feel responsible for their pain, to believe that by choosing yourself, you are somehow betraying them. But hear me, beloved, love is not a debt to be repaid. Love is freely given. And if they must guilt you into staying, then it was never love to begin with. And when guilt doesn't work, they turn to anger. The mask falls away and their words become sharp, cutting, designed to wound. They insult you, degrade you, try to make you question your worth. You'll never find anyone better. You think you're strong? You're nothing without me. You're just as bad as you say I am. The goal is simple, to break your spirit so that you return, not out of love, but out of fear. Because if they can't have your devotion, they will settle for your submission. But beloved, remember this. Any love that demands your suffering is not love. It is control. And you were never meant to live under its weight. If anger doesn't pull you back, they shift to pity. Suddenly they are the victim. I can't believe you're doing this to me. You're the only person I have. They cry, they beg, they act as if your decision to leave is destroying them. And because you have a kind heart, because you once cared, this might shake you. But beloved, know the difference between real remorse and a performance designed to keep you trapped. If they truly cared for you, their concern would be for your well-being, not just their own loss of control. When all else fails, they turn to destruction. They attack your reputation, spreading lies to friends, family, coworkers, anyone who will listen. They twist the truth, painting you as the villain, making themselves look like the one who was wronged. They're crazy. They were always the problem. I tried everything, but they were impossible. And if they can't convince people, they try to sabotage you in other ways, ruining your relationships, disrupting your peace, doing anything they can to remind you that leaving them comes with consequences. This, beloved, is not the behavior of someone who loves you. This is the behavior of someone who refuses to accept that you are no longer under their control. And then when they see that none of it is working, that the charm, the guilt, the rage, the pity, the sabotage have all failed, they do the one thing they swore they never would. They let go. Not because they want to, not because they have healed, but because they have finally realized that they cannot break you. And that is where the real victory lies, not in their surrender, but in your refusal to be controlled. So, beloved, when you see these tactics, recognize them for what they are: desperation, not love. A desperate person will say anything, do anything, become anything to regain control. But you, beloved, are no longer someone who can be manipulated. You are no longer someone who bends at the first sign of guilt, who trembles under the weight of anger, who second guesses your worth. You are strong, you are free, and you are walking away not just from them, but toward the life you were always meant to have. And that, beloved, is the greatest victory of all. Deniable about the presence of true strength. It does not need to shout to be heard, nor does it need to prove itself to be felt. Real strength stands firm, radiates from within, and moves with quiet certainty. And while most people are drawn to this kind of strength, celebrating and admiring it, there are those who fear it, because your strength is a mirror, and when a narcissist looks into that mirror, they do not see power. They see everything they are not. A narcissist builds their identity on illusions of superiority, control, and self-importance. But these illusions require a stage, an audience, someone who will reflect back to them the version of themselves they wish to believe in. As long as you remain small, as long as you seek their approval, they can maintain the lie that they are larger than life. But the moment you begin to stand tall, the moment you trust your own voice, the moment you refuse to shrink, suddenly they are forced to confront a terrifying reality. They are not as powerful as they believed. At first, they won't acknowledge it. They'll mock your confidence, belittle your choices, roll their eyes when you express your worth. You think you're better than me now, they'll sneer. You've changed. But beloved, what they really mean is, I can no longer control how you see yourself. And that realization shakes them to their core. Because a narcissist's greatest fear is not losing you, it's losing the version of you who needed them to feel whole. When mockery doesn't bring you back to the role they assigned you, they begin to sabotage. They question your success, plant seeds of doubt, whisper insecurities that they hope will take root. Are you sure you can do this? You're not as strong as you think you are. People are just humoring you. They want you to falter, to second guess yourself, to seek reassurance from them. Because if you do, it means you still need their validation. But beloved, hear me. Confidence is not built on what others believe about you. It is built on what you know to be true about yourself. And the truth is, their words only hold power if you let them. And when they realize you no longer believe their doubts, when they see that your confidence is not a performance but a foundation, they become angry. Not because you have wronged them, but because your strength has left them exposed. For the first time, they must sit with their own insecurities, their own inadequacies, their own fear of being unimportant. Without someone to diminish, they are left with nothing but themselves. And for someone who has spent a lifetime avoiding their own reflection, this is unbearable. Some will lash out, trying to pull you back into old patterns. Others will disappear, seeking someone else who will reflect the illusion they need. But beloved, let them go. Let them run from their own reflection, because their discomfort is not your responsibility. Their insecurities are not yours to carry. You do not exist to prop up someone else's fragile ego, to play small so that someone else can feel big. You were never meant to live in the shadows just to make someone else comfortable. Your confidence is not just your strength, it is your freedom. And in that freedom, you will find people who do not fear your light, but celebrate it. People who do not see your growth as a threat, but as an inspiration. People who do not need you to be less so that they can feel like more. And when you find them, beloved, you will know that you were never too much. You were only ever too strong for those who refused to face themselves. So stand tall, keep growing, keep shining, because your strength is not just a mirror for them. It is a beacon for those who are searching for their own. And in that light, you will find a life that no narcissist could ever take from you. Beloved, there comes a moment when you realize that staying in a battle that only drains you is not a sign of loyalty, but of self-betrayal. There comes a moment when you understand that no amount of explaining, no amount of hoping, no amount of bending yourself to fit someone else's version of who you should be will ever change them. That moment is both terrifying and liberating because it is the moment you decide to walk away, not in anger, not in bitterness, but in courage. Walking away is not just leaving a person behind, it is reclaiming yourself. It is the ultimate act of self-respect, the loudest declaration that you will no longer settle for anything less than the love, peace, and dignity you deserve. At first, the thought of leaving feels impossible, the weight of history, of memories, of all the times you tried to make it work. It all tugs at your heart. Maybe they weren't always cruel. Maybe there were moments of laughter, of warmth, of connection. Maybe you believed in the potential of what could have been. And that, beloved, is what makes walking away so difficult, because you are not just grieving the person, you are grieving the dream. You are mourning the hope that this time would be different. But hope, when it is placed in the hands of someone who does not cherish it, becomes a chain. And the only way to be free is to let it go. Walking away does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you have given up. It does not mean you are running from the hard work of love. Quite the opposite. Walking away requires a strength that few understand, because it means choosing yourself in a world that has told you to keep sacrificing. It means standing in the face of fear, of loneliness, of uncertainty, and saying, I deserve better. And beloved, you do, not because you are perfect, not because you have never made mistakes, but because you are human. And being human means you are worthy of love that does not hurt, of relationships that do not drain, of a life that does not revolve around surviving someone else's chaos. There will be moments of doubt. The narcissist will sense your hesitation and they will pull every trick in the book to make you stay. They will promise to change. They will tell you they see it now, that they'll do whatever it takes. And for a moment, you might want to believe them. But beloved, remember this. If they truly valued you, if they truly wanted to do better, they would not wait until they were losing you to start treating you right. Love is not something you should have to beg for. Respect is not something you should have to fight for. And peace is not something you should have to earn.